Okay, good morning. Today is April 15th and it's about 12:22 p.m. So I just wanted to go over a quick overview for Backagent. So we're going to start with you have a transaction to upload, whether you have just started working with a seller or a buyer, or you are trying to get your documents in for closing. So first off, you have to go to the start button. Well, when you log in, it comes to the start button. All of these things here, registration between broker. I hope you can see my mouse. I'm going down all of this. These are posts that I've put in that give you some informational things about transactions. So it's good when you see something come up that you should go ahead and read it. Okay. So we're going to go to transact. So to upload a new transaction, you are going to click on the plus sign right here under transaction, or you can click on actions and add a transaction. You can do either or. Now, is it residential as defined by your brokerage? So is it residential? That includes a lease property that's residential. Or is it an apartment? Is it a commercial transaction? Or is it a referral only? So be sure you know what kind of transaction you have. If you are facilitating paperwork for your friend, that's residential. It's not a referral. So you want to select, is it a seller listing or is it a leaser listing? So let's just do one as a sale listing. Pretty much they're the same thing. So you say, okay, are we in the start? Have we already started showing? Are we already under contract, or is it pre-closing? You know, even if you don't select start showing contract because you're just now trying to get your documents uploaded, that's fine. Just pick one and let's just start. So let's just say we've already been working with our seller. The house is already being shown and we've got a contract. So let's say we're going to represent the seller. If you're going to represent the seller, then you know it's your listing agreement. You're representing the seller or the buyer and the buyer. Then you're doing both sides of the transaction. You only need one transaction under Backagent. You would upload all of your intermediary, your buyer rep agreement, all that. If you are representing the seller and someone else from our company is representing the buyer, then you're only going to do the seller and let that other agent worry about uploading their documents. Okay, so we're going to say we represent the seller. So who is the seller? First off, it's going to ask you who is the seller. If you try to create a new contract, let's just do it. See, it comes up with that. Hold on, I can't see what it says. It says, because my thing is down. Hold on. Let me make that close. Please select a client first. Okay, so we want to go back and select the client. Okay, select client. Oh, first we have to say, okay, select client. So let's put in our client, Mark Cunningham. Okay, there's Mark Cunningham and there's Mark Cunningham in Baywood Mobile Home Park. Let's just choose Mark Cunningham. Is that his information? Yes, it is. His email is incorrect. So let's see what this one says. Oh, look, that one's correct. Select contact. So now our contact is in there. He's the seller. Create a new transaction. So now it brings us to our actual input page. So it's going to say, who are the people? Because all of these circles, everything that's orange says there's something wrong. Right now, we are actually working on the start. Showing there's nothing to do on showing, but then this is contract section. And also it is saying there's things wrong. So let's start with people. Okay, it's asking us, let's just go down. Who's the title company? Let's add a title company. They're going to want to know the closer. So we're going to put in Donna Medley, and she's with Southland Title. So we click on Southland. Is that the information? That's correct. Yes, that's correct. Now that's in. Now we want a buyer. Oh, who could the buyer be? Who do we want the buyer to be? How about Brad Walters? It's a friend of mine. Friend of mine and Mark's. Okay. I don't represent the buyer, so I don't have to put in the company email or phone number. So add a contact, see? So there's another buyer. Let's say he has a wife. Robin Walters. Same thing. I don't represent them, so I'm not putting in all their other stuff. Buyer's agent. We do have a buyer's agent. So let's look for our buyer's agent. Let's say it is Kimberly Stevens. Whoops, can we type? Stevens. Is it Kimberly with 5-star, Kimberly with 5-star, or is it an associate of ours? Well, actually, it's an associate of ours. So we'll select that Kimberly. Now, the documents change, the details change, the number. So now let's go to details. Let's start answering the questions. This is where you answer all the questions. Let's say, let's set the property. First, you have to identify the property. Since this is a sample of what we're doing, let's say that if it is on the MLS, you search the MLS, you put in the address, it'll bring it up, you click it. So we're just doing this as a test. So we're going to add basic. So we're going to say 1109. Oh, I guess we should put the direction there. East Pasadena. Oh, it's Pasadena Boulevard. Sorry, guys. Cancel. I was going to print that, wasn't I? Deer Park, Texas, 77536. Okay. List price, 900,000. Let's just say that. Sounds good, doesn't it? Set property now. Okay. So now, over here, if you click on this, you'll get the whole summary real quick. Now we're going to go back to details and let's finish answering the questions. When did your listing agreement take effect? Okay, we listed the house. Let's just go back and look at our listing agreement. We listed it March 4th. Okay. When does your listing agreement expire? Well, we're in a slow market, so we set our listing agreement to expire all the way till the end of the year and save it. Is this a company lead? That means, is this someone that you got a floor call that came from a RE/MAX, anything to do with RE/MAX, KB Core, another RE/MAX agent, anything like that? Well, no, this is just, let's just say he's a friend of mine and he wanted me to sell his house. What is the ownership status of the property? It's a conventional resale because it's not a new build or anything like that. Was it built before 78? This is important. If it was, it's going to ask you, it's going to change documents to number 9 because it's going to add the lead-based paint disclosure. So we're going to say no. Is it subject to a homeowners association? No, it's not because it's in Deer Park, but let's just say yes. So you can watch this change up here. So keep your eye on that. Yes, it is. Looky there. It added says now the HOA documents required. Is it in a mud district? No. So documents did not change. Is it in a flood hazard? Let's just say it is. Yes. Look, now it's going to say now you need a flood hazard document. Now, will another party get a referral fee from this transaction? No. If it's a yes, then it's a referral. So it's going to need referral information. So referral information still put in as listing. You still have to have IBS and all of that. When was a contract executed? Okay, we just executed. That's why I'm getting everything in. We did it on about April 3rd. So we're hoping to close, 30 days from now. How long is the option period? Well, let's say they did a 5-day option period. So we'll save it. So now it's telling us information. How long does the buyer have for financing approval? That's on your bottom of your first page of your third-party financing addendum. Let's say their contract says 24 days. How is the survey being obtained? I believe the seller is providing an existing one because it's a fairly new house. How many days? Look, documents have changed. It's creating more. It's prompting for more documents. How many days are allowed to obtain the survey? They wanted it within the option period, so they gave us 3 days to get that in the T47 tool. What is the closing date on the contract? Well, let's see. The closing date, we were saying, we went under contract, we're going to do by May 3rd. I think that's a good 30 days. Their lender's really good. What is a contract sales price? Okay, what did our pretend contract say? Let's say we negotiated a little bit and they came in at $875. Okay. What type of financing is the buyer using? Well, it's just conventional third party. So, okay. Now, looky here. All of our details are answered. Now we're going to go to the documents. Okay. So we need it. IBS. So, because it's all in orange, all of these documents are required. If it's in gray, it's recommended or required later. So we just start uploading our documents. Now, y'all, for this tutorial, I'm just going to upload random documents. So don't get in a, craziness about, that's not the right document. Just pretend we're going to upload the IBS because I want to get to the submit part. So we'll just upload, let's just pick a good document. Let's see, what was a good house that I sold? How about this one? Okay, so we're just going to pick random documents. Remember, I just said that. So, or if you have everything in a, like all the executed third-party supporting docs, let's do supporting docs because, there's no telling what I put under there. So we're downloading those. They're going to show up. So select file. Oh, look, it's one page. What page is that? Oh, look, so just pretend it's the IBS. So you click on select all, it brings it up here. You go to create document, click on it. You have saved one page for a new document under the file, information about brokerage services. Yes, that's where we want to go. Okay. So now that one is on file. So now let's open, let's pretend we're going to start attaching all of these documents. Remember, these are not, I'm just picking random documents that I have. Okay. So just don't worry about what the document says. I'm just showing you how to do it. So we pulled up the document. Now watch my cursor. We're going to select all. It's going to take it up here, create a document. Okay. And then make sure it's in the right heading, save and quit. Now, that's just if you have one document, per thing. Let's say you do have a cluster of documents. You'd still go to upload now, go to select file. Let's find some that are a cluster of documents. And let's see. I think I did this one with a cluster. Well, yeah, I did these two, so we'll pretend these are them. Okay. So it's going to have all of these documents. So all we were looking for, remember, was wire fraud. So we just add a page, so pretend that's wire fraud, create document, and yes, wire fraud, save and add another. It'll continue on. So we know that there's going to be some other ones. So we're going to say add a page. These were 3 pages. Create a document. Let's go and see. Was it the addendum? Was it information about special flood, intermediary, listing? Let's say it was our listing agreement. So we'll save and add another. Do you see how that does? If you have a file with all of your documents in there, you just put them all there, but you've got to be able to read them and see what they are. So we'll just say that's the third-party financing. Okay, so we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, we still have a lot to go. So we're just going to keep uploading documents so we can get to the submit part. This is fairly easy, how to do uploading the documents, but it's all the details I wanted to go over on seeing how every time you answer the question correctly, it will prompt for a new document. So let's see, let's open this, and we don't know, I don't know which one we're looking at. Remember, these are just fake files. All right. So let's just add these pages for whatever that was that we were looking. Let's see, what was it? Compared to the CMA. All right. We're going to save and add another because we uploaded a bunch. So we can get through this section. That's going to be the HOA addendum. Okay. So what you're going to do, even when it's this little over here, you can look at it. Let's just say this was an actual file. Let's say it was the information about special flood hazard. So we'll just make sure we put it under that title. But just make sure that you get every page that you need to get for whatever file that you're uploading it to. Okay. All right. Intermediate. Remember, we're just uploading. Don't want y'all to get crazy about, oh, you're not doing the right thing. Okay, let's just say we just uploaded 11 pages for the residential contract right there. So there we go. Residential contract. We're going to keep going. So let's see, we'll do these two. And we have 2 documents left, and we have 1, 2, 3 to go. That's okay. All right. We're almost done getting these documents uploaded. So once I get all of this in here, then I'm going to show you how to submit it and reiterate how if it's not orange highlighted, it's good to go. Okay, save and quit. We got all those documents uploaded. Now look, it says we have 2 more documents left, but they're grayed out. That means they're just recommended. Your seller's disclosure up here in the start section, that if you missed a page of an initial and I see that, I usually don't worry about that as long as everything was initialed and signed down here with both parties. Option fee receipt, that's not required. That's only recommended because sometimes there's not an option fee. So I didn't want to make it recommended and you guys having to ask to be exempt all the time. So that's why it's recommended. Okay, so now checklist. You can't go through. This just kind of helps you when you're new to remember what do you have to do, you know. This system will let you submit your file without doing a checklist. Okay. If you want to add expenses to your file, let's say that you added, let's see, no expenses entered. I know I've added those before. I don't do that. I have another program that I do all that. So now here we are. Let's go to pre-closing. This is our pre-closing. Oh my, look here. We have something that popped up. Let's go see what it is. When is the actual closing being held? Oh, the actual closing is going to be held just like let's say it's not going to be held on the 3rd like we thought. It's actually going to be held on the 8th. Let's see what happens. It's probably going to add a document. Looky there, it adds a document that's required. Guess what document that is? An amendment to extend closing. That's exactly what that is. So let's go down here. Amendment to extend closing. Okay, I've got that. You know, let's just say I did get it. I'd forgotten to upload it. All right, and let's select a file. Ooh, my computer's running slow. Let's do this one. And it'll bring it all in here. Add a page, create a document. And is it amendment? Yes, save and quit. So now that has been uploaded. Is that amazing or what? Okay, so we are actually ready to submit. Submit is highlighted now. You can submit it. It's going to say create your request. This is your funding request, and this is what it looks like. You need to have your file number. Let's just say it's GF 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, how about 6, 8, 9? How much is the commission? Well, what is your portion? So let's say it's a 3% to the seller's agent, and you have to figure out on, what did we say the price? Oh, we forgot the price. It's right there, $875 times 0.03. So it's 26,250 to me as the seller's agent, charged to the seller. Okay, if there's other income, like transaction fees, a bonus, let's say the seller gave they were doing a BT, no, that would not be it. Let's say I charged a transaction fee of $4.99 to cover costs. Okay, and payout. Well, gonna do Children's Miracle Network. Let's do $100 to them because I made a good commission. E&O 75, brokerage split. What is your brokerage split? It's not asking for anyone else's. Let's say mine is 80/20, so it's 26,574. It's off. Nope, it's going to be 26,250. 26,250. It's off of the sales commission up here, the total commission, times 0.20, 20%. That's 5,250 for the brokerage split. Now, if that is wrong, it's Lori's job to catch that and she will fix it. She will not go back in here and redo your commission if you were only getting 2% and you put 3%, or if something happened and titles got something wrong, your sales price was changed, but you didn't put in your amendment. You've got to make sure you're putting in your right stuff. Now, if you get this to us before 5 days, minimum 5 days ahead of time, you select table funding. If you get it 3 or less days, you might as well select standard funding because it may not happen. So now we will create a funding request. I'm not going to do that because I want to go back and show you something else. But once you create your funding request, that's when this whole file transaction is sent to my tasks. And then I review all of your documents. And if there's anything wrong, I send them back, whatever's wrong with an explanation. And then once it's all fixed, I review it again. And then once I'm done and everything's approved, it goes straight to Lori's tasks. And then she does all the accounting. Okay, so we're going to go back and just, we're going to cancel this funding request. So we're going to still be in the transaction. Now I want to show you where we are. Now we're in, what does this say? Does it hover? No, it doesn't. So this is pre-closing, contracts, showing, and start. So right now, pre-closing, we're under documents. Right here, even under pre-closing, any one of these tabs, you can see the cancel transaction down here at the bottom. We're going to cancel the transaction. I just clicked that gray button. Do you have an executed contract that needs to be terminated? Yes, I have an executed contract to terminate. So, or do I need to just cancel the transaction? I have an executed contract already because I was already ready to submit. Something happened. They didn't want to go through with it. So yes, I do have that. Do you have a signed listing agreement that must be terminated? So are we terminating the listing? Is your seller wanting not to sell anymore? Or is it the buyer that backed out? That's what this means. And it says, yes, I need to terminate the listing agreement. That's if your seller is backing out. They don't want to sell their house anymore. No, I just need to cancel this transaction. You have no agreement, or your agreement has expired, or you intend to continue working on behalf of the client in accordance with an existing agreement. That's what we're going to do. That's because our buyers back out all the time. We don't want to cancel all of that documentation that we've already put in We just wanted to cancel that buyer-seller agreement. Do you want to create a new transaction from start phase of this one? And so do we want to do that? Are we still working with the client? If you will not be continuing your work with this client, choose this option. So no, we're still working with this seller. We're not working with the buyer. So we want to restart the transaction. We don't want to terminate it. Okay, the termination process consists of attaching your executed termination documents, answering a few short questions, and submitting the transaction just as you would a successful one. So see there? So we're going to begin termination. Okay, so now our documents, our details, go back to details because it's orange. When was your contract terminated? Well, it was terminated today. All right. Are you receiving any compensation for your work? Well, technically, yes, I am. Because I'm going to get my $4.99, right? Because that's what it said. Early termination fee, $4.99. Okay, documents. Now, here we go. We are looking for orange, orange, orange. There it is. Notes of buyer's termination, release of earnest money. So this is where you're going to attach your termination, notice of termination. So go back into your computer and you're going to look for your files under all of your documents or however you have your files set up. Let me see, do I have one that terminated? You know, I can't even remember. You know, my brain is just whatever. All right, let's just, I don't know. I don't think this one ever went. So we're just gonna do this one. This was just a showing, I think. Put in an offer, but anyway, we'll just pretend it's the termination, and that's the termination. See, it's going under separate files. It's not going to be uploaded with your earnest money release. You want to keep them separate. And now we're going to, because we know there was 2 files that we had to upload. So this one, we're going to look for it. Release of earnest money right there. And that was it. Those are the only 2 documents we needed. Now you can submit, create a request, because all we were getting paid, it's actually it was not really a it's going to be $4.99 for an early termination charged to the client. Do you see that? So then you would say create funding request. Then it comes to me for review again. Then it'll go to Lori for sending the client an invoice. Okay. So we're just going to go back. We're going to back out of this again one more time. Back out. And now we're going to cancel the transaction. I just need to cancel the transaction. Nobody wants to do anything anymore. Everyone's done. There's no money at stake. There's no earnest money. They're not going to pay for anything. It's just they're done. They don't want to do it anymore. Okay. So we're just saying no. So no, just cancel the transaction. This is how I'm going to delete this out of here, my fake transaction. And it's how you would get rid of a transaction that is just a listing agreement. There was no signed contract. There were no agreements. It was, you just put it up for sale and, you know, oops, the sellers decided they didn't want to do anything. There were no earnest money contracts, no 1 to 4 family contracts, no commercial contracts, no contracts where a buyer and a seller sign. Okay. So we're going to cancel this. So this will go away and it won't be in my system because it was my fake transaction. Anyway, so I hope that helps, that y'all can understand how to do input a transaction. Okay. I want you to just see. So this is my screen. Yours will not look like this. These are my tasks. Right now, I have 4 transactions to view today, Monday, and only 4. And I bet you they're all due Tuesday or Wednesday because I was caught up over the weekend. And so this is saying this, now this is my information here. So Y'all's looks a little different than mine, so we're gonna go back to the start, and this is it, guys. I hope this helped. I really do. If you have any questions after watching this video, let me know. And I will talk to you later. Okay, thank you.